Okay, so we are going to talk about now the the metaphysical energy and is that a mosquito? Oh, I was about to say. We're going to talk about the spiritual manifestations, the manifestation of Candida, vaginal Candida, and a yeast overgrowth. Okay, the metaphysical and spiritual energetics of a woman that chronically gets a yeast infection. Okay, because you think it's a one off and another one off, and you think your body is just like not whatever regulating itself. You might think it's hormones. I don't know, but let me know. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on the reasoning behind the chronic candida overgrowth? What did you think that it was? Leave it in the comments. I'm going to explain to you because I want to know. Did you know that there's a spiritual manifestation and energetic metaphysical and manifestation and root cause of your chronic candida overgrowth? There is a pipeline to it, right? I'm going to explain, but I just wanted to know if you knew that there was something deeper. Okay, so leave that in the chat. Number one, okay, a woman that is experiencing chronic candida. I need some more light. I think, no, I'm good. Okay. Chronic candida and yeast overgrowth is a woman that self judges herself. Okay, she's a woman. How do I explain this? Let's see. So, okay, it's almost like she's a woman that self blames, or she's almost like a victim in a sense. So she may gets a disapproval or a judgment from someone close to her, maybe a loved one. She's the type to subconsciously and secretly become exactly what they say, even if it was a projection in a sense. And so she uses the things that people say to her, like she doesn't have tough skin in a sense. She's a sensitive being, and so she it gets into her mind and her psyche, and this is gives her reasoning to act like less than, or to behave in a less than manner now, because someone projected that onto her. And so instead of either fixing it and looking inward and being accountable, whether it was true or not, and then adjusting, and then saying, okay, that wasn't true, so I need to, like, let's see where the gap is. Instead, she takes it in subconsciously and says it's true in her mind. And it's deep, because we're like, how does that relate to yeast infection? We're going to get into it, because we're going to get into love, right? We're going to get into the concept of love, because the thing is, it's a lot of women don't love themselves and don't know how to love themselves because they weren't taught to love themselves. And I'm raising my hand. I'm one of those women that I wasn't taught to love myself. I just began this journey about 8 to 9 years ago. And within this journey of mine, so many things have happened. I've, had children, and my mother passed, and I healed my mother wound. I took care of my mother, and so it gets real deep, because it's like, wow, recognizing and seeing all these things that I've gone through that required for me to completely transform into another being is really what showed me that I wasn't loving myself all these years, in my teenage years, in my younger 20s. I was just having fun, but that I had a lack of boundaries. I had so many things going on, including, a toxic menstrual cycle, and including getting yeast infections and vaginal infections and things like that, right? So, okay, now let's get into it. So yes, we underperform. So someone with candida, chronic yeast infections, candida overgrowth, vaginal, by the way, is someone that is underperforming. She can do better, but she's allowing what's happening on her outside to get into her inside, to disturb her peace spiritually, energetically. Okay, so she's a woman that has stopped going after her dreams. You see how all these things correlate with a lack of creativity, a lack of expression, right? You're not going after your dreams, then yeah, you are not expressing yourself. You are not expressing the divine femininity, or you're not expressing the divine. You're not expressing your femininity out into, the ether, into the universe, sharing with the world your energy, and so, or your ideas, I want to say. More so, things that are uplifting for you are going to uplift others, but you're not doing that. So the spirit of revenge, let's talk about that. The spirit of revenge and the spirit of lack is connected to a woman with chronic yeast infections, chronic candida overgrowth. She could be binging on alcohol. She's definitely binging on sugars. Okay, she's definitely eating the wrong foods, toxic foods, possibly drugs, as well as she might have what's it called, a shopping addiction as well. All right, she's attached to avoidance. And you may not get the yeast infection every month, but to consistently get this yeast infection, more than once a year, it's excessive, because you should have a balance within your microbiome. There should be a colony. There should be a mixture of different communities within your microbiome, where it creates balance within your womb. But if that's not happening, let's get into why, right? So, let's see. So the things, okay, because I almost have to thinking, the things that you are doing, right? The over binging on the toxicity is what you're doing to escape a particular emotion. So a woman with chronic candida overgrowth and yeast infections is escaping. She is trying to emotionally escape what she needs to actually feel through, sit with it, and then, let it transmute. This is not what a woman with this kind of chronic vaginal womb disease is doing. Okay, so let's talk about it real quick, right? So, well, I'm gonna get there last, actually. So when it comes to a yeast infection, you have lots of negative beliefs. You hold lots of negative beliefs, or you're holding a negative belief. That negative belief is so powerful that it's causing you to, okay, what if the negative belief is that no one loves you, and that, you're all alone? You are most likely going to desire to feel loved. Okay, I definitely connect. I always connect the candida overgrowth, vaginal candida overgrowth, with wanting love, because it comes from excessive amounts of sugar. That's the main culprit. And when it comes to sweets, why do we call people sweet or sweetie? Oh, she's such a sweetheart. She's a sweetie. Because she's lovable. She is love. She is the personification of love. And so when someone calls another human being a sweetheart and sweetie, if they're not just giving names, they mean it, and that's because that person is the personification of love. And exude the energy of love. With that being said, why do we go and eat sweets? Because we want to feel loved. There is an emotion that there is a hormone that we secrete when we feel loved, oxytocin. And so women, especially specifically I'm talking about, and so we want to feel that your hormone or your hormones want to express itself, right? And so you get that nudge where you feel like you want a Snicker bar, okay? Or you want some ice cream. I wanted some ice cream last week, y'all. So it's okay. Life is life, right? And things happen, but we do have to monitor our bodies and make sure that we are healthy, especially our wombs and our yonis. Okay, so we have to make sure we are drinking lots of herbal teas before we go binging on sweets. But anyway, the sugar that we desire to eat, to have a bite of, it's because we want a bite of love. We want the sense of feeling loved. Because when you bite on that Snicker bar, I used to love Snickers, y'all. I don't eat none of that stuff no more. Yeah. If I want sweets now, I'll do a vegan ice cream. I'll do that. But even that is no good for me and my yoni. My yoni is so sensitive now. Once you begin to heal your womb and your yoni and your vagina, yeah, so it's going to be very strict. It's going to be very strict. I will say that. But so this is what's happening, y'all. This is the deep inner work. We have to recognize that we need love, and then we can go and say, we can do the introspection and say, all right, how can I get my sweets in without compromising my vaginal microbiome? And so you're going to say, well, I could do probiotics and prebiotics. I could take a supplement, or that's not going to soothe my soul and my heart and my sadness and my desire for sweets and a little love. So what I could do is I could have yogurt. Yogurt, right, most yogurts now have probiotics in them. So you get your little sweet, and then it has the probiotic in it. And you could do it with a little oatmeal if you want. You could do a overnight oats with your yogurt, and you get your sweet. You can get your sweet, right? You can quench that sweet tooth. Really, you're quenching that hormonal drive, telling you that it wants something. It wants to feel loved because you're a human. Okay, so you're gonna get these signals, these feelings. But you have to know what to do, what to take, okay? And you have to recognize what's happening on the spiritual, because the deep inner work is going to drive you to say, I don't want this no more, y'all. I'm done. All right, so it's time to self-evaluate, because there's a lot of negative beliefs internally in a woman that is chronically experiencing this vaginal discomfort. What do I want to share? I wanted to share what I take. That's important. So yes, what I want you to do is, I have this on my page too. I used to post this, but that was when I was not on TikTok often, so it probably stopped circulating. But this is one of the things, how I grew my brand is through sharing how to heal vaginal infections such as yeast infections and BV. And one of the biggest things that, like, I feel like this is one of the secrets that a lot of women do know about and maybe don't know about, but you can add this to your routine. Oil of oregano. Taking it twice a day with a shot of ginger, cayenne pepper, and lime. So the ginger shots, I know y'all know what ginger shots are because they sell them at the juice bar stores. Make them yourself. I advise, go buy the fresh ginger root, the small ginger roots, and make those shots yourself. That mixed with the oil of oregano, and also drinking grapefruit, 1 glass of grapefruit juice every morning on an empty stomach. before you eat anything, and letting that digest as well. So like having a late breakfast is going to be your regimen. It's the recommended regimen. It works. I've clients have told me it's worked. It's one of the best regimens, all natural, because I'm all about the holistic. Okay, so that's what I want you to do in regards to your Candida overgrowth and BV. This regimen works for BV as well. So also I want you to ask yourself, because I want you to ask yourself some questions. I have some notes over here. Ask yourself, how do I feel? Okay. Because your beliefs are attached to your emotions. Okay, so you need to ask yourself, do I feel lonely? And what do I do when I feel lonely? What did I do on Monday morning, on Monday afternoon, on Monday evening when I felt that loneliness peek into me, peek outwardly? What happened on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday? What did I do these days? Each day, start to monitor. What did I do when I felt that loneliness? Oh, I went to go buy a Snicker bar. Oh, I went to go get ice cream. Oh, but you didn't buy them probiotics and them prebiotics yet, though. You didn't buy all that. You didn't buy that oil of oregano, though. You didn't get that dandelion tea or that burdock root tea, though. Right? You didn't do any of that, but you went straight for the sweets. But you didn't go and buy all the things that you need to get to balance. It's all about balance, and you can't keep on with the toxicity either. Once you begin to heal your womb, you're going to have to, your womb begins to purge. Like I said, it's going to ask for real live foods. It's going to want nourishment. So that's why I said yogurt, because yogurt is actually very nourishing. So ask yourself, how do I feel? Does your life need more sweetness? Does your life need more love? Do you need to feel more loved in your day-to-day? Did you overindulge in processed sugars on these, or sweets on these specific days that you didn't feel at ease, and you didn't feel like yourself or loved, or calm? Not calm, but you didn't feel like yourself in those moments. What did you do? So you do need to kind of like go back. But thank you for listening. Like, share, comment, follow for more deep conversations about womb healing, deep conversations about the spiritual manifestations of womb diseases, womb illnesses. I am Bianca. I help care for women postpartum. I'm coming, babe. 2 minutes. At postpartum, post-abortion, post-miscarriage, as well as post-womb loss or post a womb. I said post a womb, or during, or with, or help. Y'all, I can't. Or help women heal womb diseases, get rid of, detoxify womb diseases with rituals, sacred rituals, and herbs. Okay? No, he didn't. So yes, let me know in the comments how that resonated, and all the things. Just comment, y'all. I'm hot. It's like 100 degrees, and I just got interrupted, so that threw me off a little bit. But anyway, good night.